Warning, the following video contains opinions. If you've also got opinions, maybe you should do a video response.
This is an open letter to YouTube and Dan Brown. And basically what I have to say is, lately I've been really disagreeing with Dan, where he talks about a very real revolution. Now, if you're talking about the technological revolution, then yes, I agree. We've been in a revolution for like 10 years or so now, at least. Nothing has really come out of this technological revolution besides internet and computers that should drastically change the way schools operate. School doesn't always have the money to change, which is something I think you overlook very frequently. You made the claim in the Haiti video that information could have saved Haiti, but these people eat mud cookies where they put oil and mud together so they can eat it. They have to take care of basic needs like food and water for their citizens before they can really worry about these other information things. Information is great, but if you're eating mud cookies, information is not the most important thing in your life. Information does not equate wealth. Money would have saved Haiti, not information. I know you're a fan of social media, and I know I'm a fan of social media, but there are some things social media can't provide that school still does. One is research. You mentioned that universities used to bring together great minds, so I'm taking it that it's not this congregation of great minds is what you're thinking about in a physical sense. But you still need that physical congregation of people for a lot of experiments and a lot of collaboration. Sure, you can collaborate online, but you can't do every experiment with just transmitting data back and forth. You need some physical application of actually being there. It also depends on what you're doing, though. Networking. I'm going to take this from a business perspective and say a lot of college is networking, at least for business majors and those kind. You meet friends, you meet people that you otherwise wouldn't have met. And I know the argument against that is going to be that you meet people online too. But there's a difference between, helping your friend move out of college and him wanting to do things for you than just posting 5 stars. I mean, if your friend's ever in a dangerous situation in college with, let's say, binge drinking or something, it's very different to help them out of that situation than if their YouTube account gets closed or something. You mentioned that aristocracy in the Middle Ages or further back in time had access to information while the poor didn't. And that's another thing. They didn't have to work. The serfs worked for them, so they were able to do these things like go research if they want for a few of them, or just be lazy, which is what a lot of people did. But it's not as though information is the only thing that separated the aristocracy from the serfs. You make this assertion that information solidifies 2 different class structures and keep them separate from one another. But the Boston Public Library down the road has been open for about 150 years, I think, and provides free information to the community, but there are still clearly class structures within Boston. Information is not the only freeing factor to classes. And then you also talked about your personal experience with college and explaining how it doesn't foster creativity. I'm going to assume you're mostly in gen eds, and those classes require you to memorize a lot of facts. You say you want them to stoke creativity and learning, but you need to memorize the facts before you can start pushing the buttons and shit. Allow me to make the same mistake as you did when using your argument and draw upon my own personal experience. I'm in engineering, so I have to take a lot of engineering classes, which is a lot of physics-based. Imagine it's the first day of the first semester of freshman year, and my professor tells me it's my job to design a bridge that supports a certain load. In order to do that, I need to know a few things. For starters, I need to know how to analyze forces and how they're distributed. And going into college, I probably don't know how to do that. In fact, I didn't. Before I can even learn how to analyze forces, I need to learn what a force is. So yes, I have to know what a force is before I can analyze forces, before I can apply those concepts. And that's when it's creative. So you have to work your way up. You can't just hit the ground running. And I don't think you appreciated that fact in college. Many of the Pogo tribe, you may disagree. Dan Brown, you may disagree. And you have every right to, since I'm only stating my opinion, only as Dan stated his. So Dan, I guess you can say you ruffled my feathers, but I know you're the type of person who likes to at least receive feedback, so I hope I have done my job.